Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before I show you his face, before you see the uniform, the patches, the smile floating in zero gravity, girl, I need you to understand the weight of what you're about to look at. Because this is not just a person. This is not just an astronaut. This is one of the very few human beings on this planet trusted to leave Earth, completely leave it, push past everything we know, everything we're used to, everything we've been doing for the last 50 years, and who is heading back to the moon. Now stop right there, because we throw that around like it's normal, going to space, going to the moon, like this is routine. This is not. There are billions of people on this planet. You can count on your hands, maybe your hands and your feet too, how many people have ever got that far. That's the level we're talking about. We're on a whole nother level. And on a mission like that, there ain't no extra seats. There are no let's see how it goes. There are no favors. Every person on that spacecraft has to be someone who has been tested, pushed, evaluated over and over and over and over and over again, mentally, physically, technically, under pressure, because once that rocket leaves the ground, there's no pulling over. There's no backup plan waiting on the side. It is them in space. So when you hear that someone has been selected for a mission like this, you're looking at someone who has already been through years and years and years and years of proving they belong there. So let's get into it. For decades, we've had astronauts, talented astronauts, brilliant astronauts, people who could fly, engineer, solve problems, lead missions, handle pressure. But when it came to the missions that define history, the ones that go beyond Earth, the ones that people remember for generation and generations, the ones that change how we see exploration, those seats were limited. And those seats didn't always reflect everybody who was qualified. Now, I'm not asking you to argue that. I'm asking you to think about it, because history is clear. We went to the moon in 1960 and 70s. And for over 50 years after that, we didn't go back. We stayed close to Earth, low Earth orbit, space stations, shuttle missions, important work, yes, but not the next step, not that leap. So now, fast forward to today, NASA builds a new mission, not routine, not maintenance. This is the return, the moment where humanity says, we're going back to the moon, back to deep space, back to pushing the boundary again. And when they start putting the crew together, they don't guess, they don't experiment, they don't pick names out of a hat, they don't do no DEI thing. They choose people who have already shown again that they can handle the responsibility, that they can operate under pressure, that they can lead when things get difficult. Because this mission, this is the one everybody is watching. This is the one that proves whether we're really ready to go back. Now, here's that part that should make you pause. Out of everybody they could have chosen, out of all the candidates that they chose, all the training, all the experience, one of those seats, one of the most critical seats on that mission, is held by a man who is about to do something that has never been done before. Not because it was impossible, not because it couldn't happen, but because for decades it didn't. And that matters, because when something never happens for that long, you have to ask why. Was it lack of talent? No. Was it lack of training? No. Was it lack of ability? Absolutely not. So what was it? And what changed? Because this moment, this selection, this mission, it didn't just appear out of nowhere. It came after years of evolution, years of pressure, years of expanding who gets seen, who gets chosen, who gets trusted when the stakes are highest. And now we're here, right at the edge of that shift. So before I show you exactly who he is, understand exactly what you're about to see. You're about to see a man who has spent his entire life preparing for something most people will never even get the opportunity to attempt. Victor Glover. You're about to see someone who's already proven himself in one of the most demanding environments imaginable. You're about to see and meet someone who's trusted not just to go to space, but to go beyond it, to leave Earth's orbit, to travel into deep space, to head towards the moon. And when that mission launched, he will become the first Black astronaut in history to ever do that. First in all of human history. Let that sink in. This brother is the pilot. Because first doesn't just describe the moment. It tells you everything about what came before it. So this isn't just a person. This isn't just a mission. This is a moment that sits at the intersection of history, opportunity, and timing. A moment that shows you not just where we are, but how long it took to get there. Now, look at him. Victor Glover. Meet Victor Glover. Now that you meet Victor Glover, now that you've seen him, let's talk about how he actually got here. Because this didn't start at NASA. Victor Glover was born in California, and from early on, he wasn't just following one path. He was stacking skills. He goes to college and earns a degree in engineering. He then joins the United States Navy, and this is where things start to separate him from the average person. He becomes a naval aviator, a fighter pilot. We're talking about flying high-performance aircraft, operating in high-pressure environments where mistakes are not an option. But he doesn't stop there. He becomes a test pilot. Now, that's a different level. A test pilot is the one they trust to fly aircraft that are still being pushed to their limits. New systems, new capabilities, sometimes things that haven't been fully proven yet. That means you're not just flying, you're analyzing, adjusting, reporting, solving problems in real time. So now you've got someone who can operate under pressure and understand complex systems at a deep cellular level. And while doing all of that, he continues his education. He earns advanced degrees in engineering, systems, operations. So now you got the full package. Pilot, engineer, problem solver, leader. That's exactly what NASA was looking for. And eventually he gets selected as an astronaut. But understand this, being selected doesn't mean you go to space right away. Now you're in another pipeline, years of training, learning spacecraft systems, emergency scenarios, survival training, spacewalk prep, robotics, medical training, everything. Because when something goes wrong in space, you are the solution. Then comes his first mission. He flies on SpaceX Crew 1 in 2020. This is historic in its own right. The first operational crewed mission using SpaceX to the International Space Station. He spends about 6 months in space, working, running experiments, maintaining systems, proving that he can operate in that environment over long durations. And NASA is watching all of it, how you perform, how you handle stress, how you work with a team, because that determines what comes next. And what came next for him was Artemis 2. Not a routine mission, not another trip to the space station. This is the return to deep space, the return towards the moon. And they didn't pick him by accident. They picked him because he had already proven over and over again that he belonged in that seat. This is the pilot that took off. Let me show you. Here we are showing the blast off of them leaving today. This is the blast off of them leaving today. They're starting to move. You see on the clock is 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good, roll pitch. Roger, roll pitch.
Wow.
Houston now controlling the flight of integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high. AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate eco.
So
Target milestone. Mission Control Houston saying good performance on 4 main engines. Space One.
so now you understand who he is and how he got there. He is the pilot. He is the person driving that rocket. Because this mission, Artemis 2, is not just about going to the moon for the sake of it. They're going because this is a test. This is the proving ground. NASA is trying to answer one question. Can we safely send human beings beyond Earth again and bring them back? Everything about this mission feeds into that. The spacecraft systems, the navigation, the life support, communication. This is the step that determines whether the next mission, Artemis 3, can actually land people on the moon. So this flight, it's not symbolic, it's necessary. Now let's bring it back to him. Because while all of this is happening on a global scale, there's also something personal. When Victor Glover straps into that spacecraft, he's not just leaving Earth. He's leaving behind his family, his wife, his children. And that matters because space flight is not routine. There is risk. There's uncertainty. Every astronaut understands what happens when they leave, that there are no guarantees. So while the world sees history, his family sees sacrifice. Now let's talk about his role, because this is where people really need to understand the weight of what he's doing. Victor Glover is the pilot. That is not a backup role. That is not secondary. As a pilot, he is responsible for critical flight operations. Oof. Oof. He is working directly with the commander to control the aircraft. He monitors systems. He helps manage trajectory. He is involved in navigation, timing, execution of key mission phrases. If something goes wrong, he is one of the people who has to help fix it immediately, in real time, no delay, no outside help. So when you hear the pilot, don't think passenger, think operator, think responsibility. Think someone NASA trusts with the success and safety of the entire mission. And when you put all of that together, why they're going, what's at stake, what he's leaving behind, and what he's responsible for, you start to understand this isn't just a moment. This is a test of everything: technology, training, trust. And right in the middle of it is Victor Glover, a man who earned his seat, carrying the weight of the mission and stepping into a moment that will be remembered long after his launch is over. Victor Glover. Victor Glover. Y'all say what y'all want to say in the comments. I see y'all in the next one.